Well, folks, hello, you relative legends. Here it is. This is the intro to the intro to the intro to the intro. So basically, I filmed a video of me exploring approachhernow.com in the Wayback Machine ages ago, and then I filmed, and then after I filmed that, we found the Carl Approach Her Now PDF. So then I had to film a little like amendment introduction to my approachhernow.com video where I said, "Oh, we found the PDF," and I thought when I was filming that intro, I thought that I would just do a little 10 minutes at the end of my approachhernow.com video and talk about a few of the additional things we discovered because we found the book. Because it's mostly the same thing. The website was mostly just the book, rearranged like a website. Now, after I filmed that intro, then I tried to film the little supplementary thing at the end, looking through the book, and that became a video well over an hour, and I was just reading 2.5 pages called "My Story" by Karl. I think it's going to be the best video. I think it's the funniest for pure comedic value. I think nothing approaches her now quite like the part 2 of the Approach Her Now series, which would be a two-parter. So that's what I had to do now. But now my intro didn't make any sense, so I've had to film. So then I filmed another intro where I explained all this, and then right after I filmed that intro, Karl dropped his "I Lost" video. So then I had to film another intro to the intro that re-explained the intro that explained the original approachhernow.com video. So I was gonna just cascade them and put fucking 30 minutes of me introducing introductions, but I decided I'd do the smart thing. I would just refilm this, explain it all. You don't need to see it. If you really, really want to see it, leave a comment. If you desperately want to see some intros of me talking about this, basically just explaining what I did now with less knowledge and over longer time. If you really want to see it, I guess I can upload it unlisted, and you can enjoy it if you love my voice that much. Ridiculous. Not gonna happen. So I'm just reintroducing it here. So here we go. Here is a video of me. This was filmed a long time ago. This is filmed like a month ago, well before the I Lost video came out, and we did the stream, which was a lot of fun. I go through approachhernow.com on the Wayback Machine, and it pales in comparison to part 2, which I will release next week, where we read Karl's story. So if you really want, you could go find the PDF online yourself. You would have to do some digging. You'd have to know where to look. You could go do that, and you could read it, but I would suggest don't spoil it. Don't spoil my video that's coming out for yourself. Like, don't spoil it for yourself, because it is, I think, it's my funniest work, and that's what this whole thing's about for me. I don't care about Karl losing a court case. Why would I care about that? Why the fuck would I care about that? It's just funny. It's funny, and I think I can tell some funny things and jokes and stories about it. So, this is all about jokes. It's all about being funny. So here it is. Here is the first Approach Her Now video. Enjoy. I'm out of focus. One thing I forgot to mention. Oh my god. Focus. Focus. One thing I forgot to mention was that the reason I filmed the initial intro was that when you record on OBS, which is how I make these, sometimes it won't save like the first second, like right after you hit record. And so I introduce the Approach Her Now video as "Hello, you relative legends," but it gets cut off, and you just hear me say "legends," and that's like bad enough. But then later on in the video, there's a tab where I'm googling the definition of relative just to check that it is an antonym of absolute, which I knew, but I was just like checking. Like you gotta check, right? Because if it's not, then I look like a dick. So my original intro the whole reason I filmed an initial introduction to the video was because of that one thing that gets cut off, and then it comes back in the video later because you see it when I switch to the window capture of the web browser. So I forgot to mention that. That's the whole reason we had the intros in the first place at all. Otherwise, I would have just dropped the video as it was. Anyway, forgot to mention that. Just there you go. Enjoy. I'm gone. Enjoy. Legends. It's me, Samo Sammy, back with another video on everyone's favorite albino, Mr. KJ. I'm just going to crack a nice, delicious Coke No Shug, and we're going to talk about something else today, but it is Karl Jobst related. So, of course, a few days ago, Karl lost his trial against Billy Mitchell, which was very, very funny for me. And I released Hateful Twerp 3, and it got quite a positive response. And so it got me thinking about what did people like most about Hateful Twerp 3? And it wasn't really the reaction, it wasn't really the discussion around the court case. No, what people really, really found the most interesting was, of course, the Approach Her Now stuff, the pickup artistry stuff. And so I thought today I would do a video just on that, and we'd try and find as much info and content from approachhernow.com as we possibly can. And so we might watch a bit more of the two videos. You know, we didn't see all of those videos. The one of him doing the approaches, you know, where you give a buffer, you give a compliment, you say thank you, and then you walk away. That one, that's out there on YouTube. If you search for that, you can find it. If you search like Karl Jobst cringe Reddit into Google, you'll probably find the Reddit thread that links to it. That's how I found it for the video. And the other one, which I believe, if we'll get to that. But the other one is the thing I downloaded apparently in early 2019 is when I downloaded the video where he's sort of introducing the course. You know, it looks kind of like a Patreon video, you know, sort of thing. Like a video advertising his Patreon, but this is before Patreon. So anyway, we might watch a bit more of those two videos. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see how I feel. But the main thing I want to do in this video is show you this. Show you this right here. Antonyms of absolute. I was just checking that relative was an antonym of absolute, and it is. I'm just going to leave that in. A professional would close that tab and then redo the video. I'm not going to do that. Anyway, I admit I looked it up, but I did think relative before looking it up, alright? So I'm just verifying my genius, okay? Anyway, this is the Wayback Machine of ApproachHerNow.com. This is the earliest snapshot in the Wayback Machine from October 16th to 2014. And here we have it, ApproachHerNow.com. You can see that I have checked one of these links, and it does actually load the page. I don't know if they'll all load the page, but we're going to explore this website together. So, let's break it down. Let's analyze this wonderful website that no longer exists. Approach her now, because you only live once. So as you see, we have the red, black, and white, exactly like those videos I was talking about. This one weird loophole in the female brain will allow you to have sex with absolutely any woman you want. Immediately has that aesthetic. You know, we got this sexy lady, we got this sexy bitch with her stilettos. Oh my god, looks like the Mud Flaps lady. So obviously trying to tap into, you know, do this, get sex, you know. So you have a table of contents: approach, anxiety, confidence, science of building confidence, stresses, what are stresses, analyzing our approach, the workout, essential articles. You cannot miss them. They're essential. And of course, online coaching. I'm really excited about the last one. I really hope that link isn't dead. Anyway, the experts in overcoming approach anxiety. It's just the one guy. Anyway, Approach Her Now free ebook available to all visitors. So I put in my email here, jebbush69@yahoo.com. I'm going to try and get the free ebook. Damn, didn't work. Okay. My bad. Didn't work. Anyway, so I can't get the free ebook. I don't know if anyone out there has the free ebook. I'd love a copy, but I do not have the ebook. Anyway, this Vimeo thing doesn't load, but I'm pretty sure that this Vimeo... no, fuck off. Fuck off Chrome hardware acceleration. This Vimeo is the same length as the video where he's standing like this in front of the white screen. So I think it's just that video. So this is sort of the landing page video where he explains the whole thing. And then obviously we will read all this, but we've got two sexy, slightly fetal alcohol syndrome Eastern European women. Carl obviously finds super sexy, and he thinks that we'll entice your average socially anxious man. We'll entice him. All right, here we go. Want more dates, relationships, and sex? I believe that if you are viewing this website, you would like more women in your life. You want to become a more attractive man, and you would like to be able to date the women of your choice. You may be lonely, seeking a companion, or you may just be looking to date more women than you currently are. 5 women wasn't enough. I need to date more. Thankfully, Karl Jobst can help me get from 5 women at a time to 20 women at a time. I also believe that if you are viewing this website, then, typo, then you know the value of being able to approach women. Not only for the fact that you can meet more women if you approach more, but also for the fact that if we approach a lot, we will naturally learn and become better at it. Most of the dating advice currently available does a good job at teaching men the most effective ways of approaching women. So he's saying that there's all this other pickup artistry shit, and it works. It actually works. It's actually great. This is just to complement all those other great courses from the great pickup artists throughout history. I wish I knew some pickup artists by name to make the joke better, but I don't, unfortunately. Obviously, incel virgin, never worked for me. Never went down that path, because if I went down that path, the advice is so great that obviously I'd be having tons of dates, relationships, and sex. Anyway, finally, I believe that even though you want more success with women, and even though you know the importance of approaching a lot of women in order to achieve that goal, a long sentence, there is something stopping you. You are not currently taking the action you know is necessary to achieve the results you ultimately want. You have approach anxiety. Or it's just kind of like fucked. I think you should have approach anxiety. It's kind of a fucked up thing to do. The dating market has totally collapsed. It was a bubble and it's completely collapsed. We're in deep, deep recession when it comes to the dating market. So who am I to turn my nose up at anything that even has the slight possibility of working, making 10 million women uncomfortable to get one date. If it works even once, then I guess it was a net positive on the world, but still, goddamn, man. Goddamn. I don't know if what I just said was comprehensible to people, but I know what it means, so whatever. I'll try, if you didn't understand that train of thought, I'll explain in the comments. Anyway, if you're reading these words, it means that you want a solution. You want to be able to go from a man that cannot approach women to a man that can approach any woman. Any women, rather. Anywhere, anytime, and any way he wants. You understand that if you are able to eliminate your approach anxiety, your success is almost guaranteed. Because just like any skill, practice makes perfect. And if you practice a lot, you will become good. Very good. I will help you. I will give you the solution you have been looking for. If you understand the concepts I am about to teach you and follow the advice on this site, you will achieve your goals. If you apply the principles I'm going to share with you, your life will change faster than it ever has before. I know what you're going through, and I know the path that leads to success. Follow me. And then we have a signature and the name Karl Jobst. Anyway, get these Eastern European women off my thing. Let's start clicking through the links. Approach anxiety. The science of approach anxiety. What is anxiety? In order to give us the best chance of overcoming and reducing our anxiety, we first have to understand exactly what anxiety is and how it affects us and others. The dictionary gives us its definition. Noun, anxiety, a feeling of worry, nervousness, or unease about something with an uncertain outcome. This isn't news to us. We know very well what anxiety feels like. We know what it feels like, and we know it stops us from taking the action required to achieve our goals. But why? What exactly is this emotion doing to us that makes us feel sick, shake, and ultimately do nothing? Anxiety is fear. Brilliant. That's brilliant. I never would have thought of that. To put it simply, anxiety behaves very similarly to fear in our bodies. But it is the cause of the fear that makes the very clear distinction between fear and anxiety. When fear is caused in response to a genuine threat or danger, it is described as fear. For example, the fear of heights. It's completely understandable to be afraid of heights because if you fall from a height, you're dead. No, actually. Fear of heights is irrational. Fear of falling would be the rational fear. That's the rational fear. Fear of heights, is an irrational fear because it applies even when you know you're safe. Even when you have a harness on, you still feel the fear, even though the risk of you falling is basically zero, When the falling is the actual thing that harms you. Well, really, it's the stopping, but now we're quibbling. Now we're really quibbling. But anyway. When fear is caused in response to something that can only be subjectively described as a threat, it is considered anxiety. For example, public speaking. There is no real danger to giving a bad speech because at worst, you will get booed from the stage. They could kill you. You can give such a bad speech, they kill you. They assassinate you. They take you out back, string you up, hit you like a piñata. So what danger does this really pose to you? None. Well, I mean, being socially ostracized is a very real and material threat to your physical well-being in the long run. I don't know if I call a fear of public speaking like an irrational fear and therefore anxiety. I don't know if I agree with this quite exactly, but anyway, it's all in your head and that's the problem. Because the cause of anxiety lies mainly inside one's own brain. It may be hard to address and resolve. Things that we should legitimately fear generally only pass us by every once in a while. Do you mean that should read pass by us? Anyway, and the experience may be very short-lived. Anxiety, unfortunately, tends to last much longer, and in some cases may last for an entire lifetime. Just take Valium. That is the solution. If you actually scroll to the end, if you go to the workout, it says take Valium. It says munch Valium like it's like they're Tic Tacs. That's what it says. Sorry to spoil it, guys, but you should be munching Valium. How does anxiety affect us? Anxiety affects us in many different ways. Wikipedia gives us a great description of the side effects we experience while feeling nervous, or anxious rather. I'm sure you can relate to this. Now we got red text, very exciting. Anxiety usually has physical symptoms that may include a racing heart, a dry mouth, shaky voice, blushing, trembling, sweating, lightheadedness, and nausea. This is everything Karl was feeling in the courtroom the other day. It triggers the body to activate its sympathetic nervous system. This process takes place when the body releases... Is that right? I don't know enough about human biology, but is sympathetic nervous system the right term here? Or does he mean parasympathetic? Because I know that's a thing too. Let me know. Let me know in the comments. I don't know. I'm just assuming that there's errors in this. This process takes place when the body releases adrenaline into the bloodstream, causing a chain of reactions to occur. This bodily response is known as the fight or flight syndrome. Response. Not syndrome. Response. It's not like a deformity. It's the fight or flight response. Anyway. A naturally occurring process in the body done to protect itself from harm. The neck muscles contract, bringing the head down and shoulders up, while the back muscles draw the spine into a concave curve. This in turn pushes the pelvis forward and pulls the genitals up, slumping the body into a classic fetal position. So what, I'm lying down? So when I have anxiety, what happens is I get into the fetal position while standing. I bring my cock up to my mouth for a self-suck. That's what I do. That happens every time I get anxiety. In trying to resist this position, the body will begin to shake in places such as the legs and hands. Several other things happen besides this. Muscles in the body contract, causing them to be tense and ready to attack. Second, blood vessels in the extremities constrict. This can leave a person with a feeling of cold fingers, toes, nose, and ears. This isn't news to any of us. We all know what anxiety feels like. What is important to take away from this is the fact that anxiety has a very real effect on our bodies. It is not simply a state of mind. Anxiety releases very specific hormones that directly impact the way our bodies function. To put it in another way, anxiety manifests itself through our physical behavior. This is going to be a slog. Alright. Yeah, we got another sexy bitch being rizzed up by some, fat-headed nothing. So if this can happen for this dickhead, then it can obviously happen for you if you use the Jobst system. Aside from the physiological impact of anxiety, there's also another, perhaps more subtle consequence to this emotion that we should consider. And indeed, you definitely should consider this consequence if we are to try and overcome this problem of approach anxiety. Anxiety does not simply affect the way our body behaves, it also affects the way our mind thinks. It will change the very thoughts we have and will have a direct impact on our decision making. I like how he just went way out of his way to say anxiety is not just a thing of the mind, because we all have a natural intuition that it's a thing of the mind. And then after he goes all out of his way to go, it's actually a physical response, he goes, but also it affects the mind. He just spent 5 paragraphs trying to debunk that it's about the mind. And he's like, but it also changes your mind. It's funny. It's funny to me. Anyway, this becomes so much more important when we begin to understand how our own anxiety impacts the people around us. It is also critical to keep this in mind when attempting to overcome your anxiety. It is not wise to trust your own brain to help you when your very brain itself has been hijacked by this emotion. Carl, you should really listen to that sentence and apply it not to anxiety, but to everything that comes out of your head. No, the same hormones that cause you to feel anxiety will be released no matter what the stimulus. However, there are 2 main causes of anxiety that are especially important to us in regards to approach anxiety, and we'll have a quick look at them now. Social anxiety. Generally speaking, all humans require some level of approval from other humans. We are evolutionarily designed this way for good reason. Those who sought the approval of others were able to group together and work in teams, which provided obvious advantages to survival. We seek the approval of other humans, and we also fear the disapproval of others. Yes, it would be super rational to have social anxiety. Anyway, there are several existing hypotheses out there attempting to explain why people feel social anxiety. One of the more common theories is that we evolved a fear of being castrated from our social group. Nothing worse than being castrated from your social group, guys. uh, that's one of the more common theories. We evolved a fear of being castrated out of our social group because this often resulted in death for early humans living in the African savannah. First of all, I think, hasn't Out of Africa been debunked? Didn't Out of Africa get debunked a few months ago? But anyway, regardless, yeah, if you were castrated before the invention of like modern medicine, like yeah, that would often result in death in the African savannah. In any case, this fear is certainly common and is actually considered to be natural and normal. Let's get one thing clear. It is absolutely okay to fear being rejected by another person. This does become a problem, however, when we are unable to do what we want because of this fear. Performance anxiety. This is the type of fear that arises from feeling as though you need to perform well in front of one or more other people. We believe that a bad performance may lead to a loss of approval from our peers. Right. Can we choose not to feel anxiety? Well, it depends. Depends on how many repeats you got on your Valium script. If you're asking if we can choose not to feel anxiety in any given moment, then the answer is no. Website over. Close the website. If it were that easy, then we would simply just choose to never feel anxious. Fear is an automatic response that happens on a completely subconscious level. Approach anxiety is not in our control and is almost never based on logical thought. We can certainly choose whether or not we will feel anxiety in the future, however. By training our bodies the right way, we can slowly over time decondition our bodies so that we feel less anxiety. Studies show that 90% of people with acute phobias can be cured of their fears by a process called exposure therapy. Do not make the mistake of assuming that because we can realize the danger isn't real, we can easily choose to stop feeling anxiety. We almost always do not choose to feel the emotions we do. Well, that's certainly true of you, but anyway. They happen spontaneously in response to our environment and our own minds. Can we choose our own thoughts? Of course. Don't think of a pink elephant. But that becomes extremely difficult when we are already feeling a strong emotion, such as anxiety. Once we reach adulthood, we have developed an anxiety response to an environment. Now, once we reach adulthood and we have developed an anxiety response to an environment, it will always take some work to undo this. But believe me, it is very easy and very straightforward. This is like when people tell me that some fucking trick on GoldenEye is easy, and I crash out. Anyway, it's very easy and very straightforward if you have the right system. You need to have the right system. You must have the Jobst system, which is exactly what I am giving you on this website. Your anxiety is her anxiety. Humans are incredibly empathetic. We're evolutionarily designed to be able to detect and interpret the emotional state of other human beings. In fact, not only are we experts at identifying emotions in others, but we actually feel the emotional states of others. Brain analysis shows us that humans will actually replicate the emotional state of another person. Special neurons in our brain called mirror neurons automatically and instantly begin to create within our body the same emotions that we see in another human. This happens on a completely unconscious level. It cannot be tolerated. So before you said subconscious, and now you're saying unconscious. At least one of them's wrong, right? I'm pretty sure unconscious is wrong. I'm pretty sure unconscious literally, like the brain isn't working at all unconscious, you know? So all these sort of automatic things, they are all subconscious, not unconscious. But anyway, I could be wrong, whatever. and cannot be controlled. Here is a flowchart of how emotions are actually contagious and will move from person to person. Happiness mirror neuron chart approach anxiety. Dead link. I wonder if we can find that image. I wonder if we can Google this and find it. Let's search DuckDuckGo. What do we reckon? What image do we think Karl used? This one with the monkeys? He probably used Truth Tunes. He probably used the Truth Tunes one. Anyway. Makes sense. The process doesn't become truly enlightening until we do the same example, but this time replace happiness with anxiety. Okay. So that was a happiness example. Now, okay. To put it bluntly, if you approach a woman, or any person for that matter, with a feeling, while feeling a high level of anxiety, you will almost certainly make her feel uncomfortable instantly. It's not her fault, really. There's nothing she can do about it. Fear has been evolutionarily designed to prevent harm. One way fear achieves this is to take over your brain and stop you. Fear wants to stop you from putting yourself into a harmful environment. It wants you to stop you from doing a harmful action. It is damn good at its job, too. If it wasn't for fear, our entire species may never have lasted. Fear has absolutely fantastic intentions. But you know what they say about fantastic intentions. He doesn't say that. That was my own. I added that little bit of color. Today's world has changed, and we're no longer living in the world of our ancestors. All the dangers that at one time posed such a threat have long since been removed from our modern daily life. In today's world, the very actions that we fear the most can actually be the very actions we know will give us the best results. We know that if we're able to approach many women, then we will inevitably become successful in this area. But it is extremely difficult to take action if our own bodies are trying to stop us. Social anxiety may have been useful at some point in our history, but that time is no longer. Overcoming this challenge is difficult, though, and it requires the right strategy. The Jobst system. That's my name for it, by the way. We cannot fight toe-to-toe with our own hormones. If we're feeling a large amount of fear towards approaching a woman, it will be almost impossible to do so. We have to be smart and realize that the effects of anxiety are legitimate and demand our respect. We can win this fight, but we will need more than simply mind power. We will need a plan. Free ebook, Karl Jobst, approach her now. How to get over your fear of approaching women. We have a fake, photoshopped book. The PDF would not be this thick. The PDF's probably 20 pages long. Anyway, and then of course, scroll down, Skype coaching available, more info. I think that's the same as this link. Yeah, we'll get to it. I'm probably not going to read all of these, but let's look at confidence. I'll start skimming because this video is already half an hour long. Just be confident. What is confidence? Okay. So he's going to redefine confidence as feeling a lower amount of anxiety than the average person in any given situation. So it's basically like the fundamental theorem of poker, but for anxiety, and it helps you fuck lots of women. Confidence is a lack or absence of an emotion. What? A specific emotion, anxiety. So just say the emotion. Anyway, got another sexy bitch. Kind of a weird face. Well, she's alright. She's fine. Can we choose to be confident? No. Website over. Website over. The website over. Killing two birds. Just killing two birds. Doesn't say with one stone. He didn't finish the idiom. That makes him the idiot. And so I didn't finish the word. So it sounded like idiot. So fucking clever. Anyway, confidence versus courage. Courage is not confidence. Okay, free ebook. I wrote about the science of building confidence. Now I understand what confidence is. Well, that's what I understood. This lowering anxiety. Thank God he put this mathematical formula in the pink box. Otherwise, I might have missed it, and I would realize that this isn't mathematics. I would have missed the fact this is just maths. Just maths, guys. Exposure therapy. Start small. Another picture of a sexy bitch on a date. Got to have a different picture of a different sexy bitch on a date on every single page. You got to manage yourself. How long does it take? Let's see. All right, you need 6 months. You need 6 months of coaching, which, it's actually super fast if you consider most men never get over their anxiety. So, that's like an infinite amount of time. So anything less than infinity, even if it's 6 fucking months of paying for Skype coaching, that's actually super quick. Most men never do it because we're trying too hard. Some shit. I don't know. I'm not reading all this shit. What about stresses? Tell me about stresses. What are stresses? Oh, so stresses are things that cause anxiety, because stresses are things that cause stress, and stress is anxiety. So everything's anxiety. Basically, everything's anxiety. Ooh, more mathematics. We got some more mathematics. See, as time increases from 1 minute to indefinite, the stress goes from 0 to 3. So at 1 minute, stress is 0. At 5 minutes, it's 1. At 30 minutes, we get to 2 stress. And then indefinitely, when we get to indefinite amount of time, we get to 3 stress. But it's a linear relationship. This isn't like this isn't asymptotically approaching max stress at value 3 at some arbitrarily large number. It's just once we hit indefinite, then we get to 3 because it's just a linear relation. This is nonsense. But he puts a graph on it, so it looks like he's doing science. Every second you could be interacting with a woman will cause more stress because there are more variables. I have found that to be the exact opposite of reality, by the way. The first minute of talking to someone is always the worst. If I can get through that first minute, I'm golden. I relax, I calm down, I loosen up, I start cracking jokes. So not only is this fake maths graph wrong from a mathematical standpoint, not only is it just fucking stupid, it's also like wrong. It should be the other way around. But anyway. All right, setting, faking our emotional state. Rejection. I've approached many women in my time, and I'm still quick to admit that rejection is unpleasant. This is insane. This is so crazy. This shit is so insane. All right, we're going to analyze the approach. We got examples. Now we got word problems. We're going to do some more maths with some word problems. There it is. This is it. This is it right here. This is the system. This is his initial system. There's the buffer. there's the buffer, the complement, the closer, and then you leave. This is his 4-step approach. Yeah, so you make it last 5-10 seconds. So it's just the 5-10 most stressful seconds, in my experience. Yeah, this is all crazy. All right. It's popular too. Shopping mall during the day. Shopping mall. He's marketing to Americans. Although he's using real eyes with an S. We call those shopping centers. But anyway. Hi, conversation for 2 to 3 minutes. It's just this shit sucks so bad. Oh, shit sucks so bad, man. What the fuck are you gonna have a 3-minute conversation with a random lady at a shopping mall about? What the fuck are you gonna have a 3-minute conversation with her about? Anyway, whatever. Again, insane incels. So take everything I say with a grain of salt, but this just seems ridiculous to me. Anyway, I thought you have to go. You seem really cool. I'd like to get your number. Have a good day. Okay. So yeah, just saying like this is a much harder one to pull off. You know, if you can't do example 1, don't even bother with example 2. You're opening the door for a big fat rejection. Anyway, let's go to the workout. Let's start working out. Now it's health science. Okay. Oh yeah, the muscle building metaphor from master bodybuilder Karl Jobst. Go out once or twice a week, and you do the compliment and then leave thing to 20 women per sesh. 20 reps. 20 reps of, hey, you look sexy walkaways. I call them sexy walkaways. 20 reps of sexy walkaways. 2 sets a week if you want to double your results. Otherwise, 1 is fine. Oh yeah, and there was no image of a sexy bitch on the last page, but we go on here. Yeah, why 20? Good question. Let's break it down. How did he figure out this optimal number? What mathematical formulas has Mr. Science here done to give us the number of approaches we need to do? All right, so he did it empirically through experimentation, you know. Under 10's too easy. You're not stressing the muscles enough, you know. You really, you know, just like with working out, you gotta rep till failure if you want your muscles to grow. You gotta rep sexy walkaways to failure, and you know you gotta at least get to 10-15 before you start feeling the mental fatigue. Number is not scientific by any means, even though it is empirical. I was actually going to give him this one. This is the most scientific thing he's done on the whole website. But this number is not scientific. But then he immediately tosses out, this number is not scientific by any means. I was going to give it to him. It makes sense. He's done this. He's got genuine experience with it. He can empirically say that, yeah, if you don't do 20, it doesn't really work. Anyway, 20's the way to go. Well, so you got to pick your difficulty level of approach. That's like the different weight on the dumbbell, right? So if you get through 20 sexy walkaways, you know, then you go for 3-min convo phone numbers, you know. And you find the right balance until, you know, until you feel that it was difficult, but you got through it, you know. Wow, you got to structure your evening. So this is what you do. When you're going out with your mates, you go, all right, guys, I'm going to meet you at the bar, but I'll be there at around 10 o'clock because I know you guys are getting there at 7, but I need to do my 20 sexy walkaways. You know, I don't want to totally abandon my evening, but I'm going to do my work first, and then I'm going to do my play later. So I'm going to separate my evening into 2 parts where I do my reps of sexy walkaways, and then I go have fun with my friends. That's what I do. And you should just do this until you get married. And it isn't his opinion that this will work, it's a fact. Oh my, I don't know what this was, but this is the end. In bold, then you are free. Damn, bro. I mean, it really is just the same thing over and over and over again. This could have been a paragraph. This could have been a tweet. This could have been a tweet. All right, let's peep the articles. Let's peep the essential articles. Are these from him? Are these articles he wrote? Oh my god. Please tell me these are all active. Please tell me these are active. Damn it. God damn it. Only one capture. Shit. The essential articles. Well, these titles are still great. The cold hard truth. We all know it. If you can't approach your success as women, it's going to be very limited. We get it, okay? We fucking get it. Become your own psychologist. You don't have at least a basic understanding of psychology. You're going to be fighting a losing battle against your anxiety. Man, people are always saying shit like that. Psychology is such like a fucking pseudoscience. Whatever. Anyway, mend your broken bones before building your muscles. If you have high amounts of approach anxiety, you'll need to get it under control before focusing on dating advice. Practice versus performance. In order to overcome approach anxiety, you need to learn how to stop performing and start practicing. Become results orientated. Stop using your emotions to make decisions and start using real tangible results. Isn't being results orientated like a bad thing? Don't you need to naturalize your gameplay? I think you should not be results oriented. Isn't that the whole point? If you're results oriented and you go and do approaches and they're fucking awful, you'd be like, this is awful. This is fucking awful. If you naturalize your gameplay, if you just have confidence in your inputs, the outputs are irrelevant, and that eventually your outputs will align with your desires as long as you focus on the correct inputs. You need to not be results oriented. Results orientation is a bad thing. You need to naturalize your gameplay. WQ. And I wish this one fucking worked, man. My story, approach anxiety paralyzed me for years, but one realization changed it all. Damn, I really wish they were active. All right. The final article, online coaching. And after we look at this, we'll go look at the other snapshots to see what changes are. There's some from like 2024, which is obviously way after he fucking got this shit done. Okay. Here we go. Online coaching, the quickest way to overcome your approach anxiety. This is the grift, the free ebook with the sexy bitches in the rain, you know, all of that, you know, with these sexy bitches who, by the way, they kind of aren't that sexy. But anyway, whatever. That's fine. All right, but here's the grift. Here's where he made the real big bucks. I would love to know if anyone ever signed up for this. That would be a hell of an interview. Anyone, like, I would anonymize them. It'd be like when someone's whistleblowing against, like, Woolworths on 60 Minutes, and they're sitting in the dark with their voice pitched down, rather. I would do that. I would hide the identity. But if you paid for Karl Jobst approach anxiety coaching, please get in touch with me so I can interview you. We can even do it just email, just written word. I'll read it out. But that would be amazing. That would be amazing. I'm pretty sure no one did, though. I'm pretty sure no one ever paid a single cent to this. I mean, look at this website, dude. Come on. Not in 2014 are people falling for this shit. People might have given money to this if they saw this in 2006, maybe. Or earlier, but not in 2014, dude. 2014, that's like... What was going on in 2014? Like, people were like, on YouTube making, like, Robbie Rotten edits. Like, the internet had evolved far beyond... this sort of shit by 2014. Anyway, online coaching, schedule your appointment now. karljobst.acuityscheduling.com. I wonder if that goes anywhere. We'll check that out. Let me get rid of these. All right, during your coaching session, you will be able to discuss and overcome your own personal, specific, and unique issues. Be able to ask me any questions regarding approach anxiety or dating. Be given exact instructions on how to build confidence. Sexy walkaways. Learn advanced and cutting-edge ideas that will fast-track your success. Receive in-depth explanations and examples of core principles. That's not all. But wait, there's more. 1 month, unlimited email support. Worksheets you can use to track your progress and organize your exercise plan. He's going to give you worksheets so you can track how many sexy walkaways you did. That's amazing. You will need Skype, rest in peace Skype, a microphone, and a webcam's optional. If you want to show Karl your cock, that's optional. Oh, the important detail. Oh no, bro. I just saw the price. Okay, the important details. Coaching sessions are 50 minutes long. You don't even get the full hour. Each session is $117 US. God damn, dude. Full refund if you are not completely satisfied. That is a big mistake to offer that one, Karl. Big mistake. 100% risk-free, 30-day money-back guarantee. I think anyone who paid for this would realize within 30 days that they were scammed. God damn. There's a link to downloading Skype. Cool. All right. Damn. We don't have Karl's scheduling website active. But anyway, there you go. That's the Approacher Now website. You can check it out yourself on the Wayback Machine. I'm going to look at, let me go back to the homepage. Peep the captures. So yeah, there's a bunch from sort of 2014, 2016. Let's see one from like 2016. See if it's changed at all. Whoa! It looks way better. I'll give him that. It looks way better. Still got this picture. This looks like it hasn't changed at all. He didn't change the text. Confidence. Okay, it's all the same links. He has made it look a little better. A little. It still looks scammy as fuck. And now he's got this all on the side. Let's see. Did he up the price? 2014, it was 117 US. Where did he get that number? 117. What was it a reference to Damn Essay? Did he get Damn Essay 117 as an untitled or something? Advanced, this hasn't changed it at all. Whoa! He cut the price. Oh my god. Introductory free sessions 15 minutes long. And then the cost of each session is only $47. He cut the price. He realized 117 is ridiculous. That's great. That's amazing. You get a free session. So you get a free 15 minutes to get grifted. That's amazing. That is amazing. Let's see, maybe the essential articles work on this version. Maybe he's written more. He has not. He has not. I mean, yeah, these aren't going to work. It's because the URLs are going to be the same. So if they didn't work from the other side, they're not going to work now. All right, so the design got updated, but then like 2021, he's left the elite at this point. This is like we're really trying to get the fuck out of there. Okay. That one didn't work. What are these green? Indicates redirects. Okay. I guess it redirects somewhere. What's in 2024? Alright, we got November 21st, 2024. It's 5 months ago. Ah, damn. Approacher now has expired. Damn, what a shame. What a pity. Oh, well, there you go. Let's see, did it look different in 2015? How'd it look in July of 2015? Okay. Still this shit one. All right. Well, there you have it, folks. That was the Approacher Now website on the Wayback Machine. I think that's all the info we're ever going to get on Approacher Now, unless a customer of Karl's wants to come forward for an interview. There you go. That's all we got. That's all we got. You know, we can watch a little more of this actually.
Hi. Karl Jobst here.
Happening
quicker than it ever had.
I went from someone
who couldn't approach at all to someone who could approach whenever I wanted.
Now, this change wasn't instantaneous. I still had to do a little bit of work. But just to compare, I had more success in 1 month than I had had in 6 years of trying. And just as
I had predicted, success with women came shortly after. This website contains my realizations. If you read, learn, and apply the information I'm giving you, you are going to get success quicker than you ever have. I have absolutely no doubt about that. It worked for me, and it has now worked for many men. Before you start reading, I want to give you one...
Many men? Inshallah, it has worked for many men. Oh, God.
thought. It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter how famous you are. It doesn't matter how much money you make. If you have enough confidence, you can get as much success with women as you want. Now let me say that again. If you have enough confidence, you can get as much success with women as you want. And the best part is, confidence is something we know how to build. If you enter in your email address on the left, I'll send you my free ebook, which tells you everything you need to know about how to overcome your approach anxiety. And if you'd like to speak with me directly, one-on-one in one of our online coaching sessions. During our coaching sessions, you can speak with me from anywhere in the world, and I will tell you exactly what you need to do in order to get the results you want. To find out more information about online coaching, click on the online coaching tab above. Until then, I wish you the best of luck, and I look forward to hearing about your progress. Hi, Karl Jobst here, creator.
Hi, Karl Jobst here. Well, anyway, there we go, folks. There you go, you relative legends. That has been another wonderful Approacher Now video. Probably not going to make any more videos about Karl. He's had enough. I think that's enough. I think he's had it bad enough. I've done my job. I did what I wanted to do. That's Approacher Now. I had a lot of fun. I hope you did too. Thanks for watching, everybody.